Welcome to part 2 of the episode 3 of our crochet along, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the car, and this goes with our road playmat crochet along for the last couple of weeks. I've been showing you how to make various different squares with different designs. For example, last week I showed you how to make the pond square with some trees and also some long grass square and some road pieces as well. As you can see here, part 2. Part 1 I show you how to make the curved road square, and these all join together at the end to make a road playmat. But in this video, that's just a quick recap if you're just coming straight into this video. But in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make the car for the road playmat, and for this car we are going to be using some DK light worsted weight yarn, and all these colours are colours which you should already have in if you've been following along for the crochet along, but you may want to make your cars in different colours that may not be on the list for yarn materials for the crochet along. But for this little car I made him in yellow, but my little daughter, my little girl, she wants a car in red, so I'm actually going to be introducing a red colour to this tutorial, which isn't in the materials list, I know, but my daughter really wants a red car, so I'm going to be doing this car on this tutorial in red. But of course you can use the yellow from the material list for the crochet along, or you could use grey or the pink, even the white or the orange. Any of these colours would work really well for your little car. But I'm going to be using, let's put that to the side, I'm going to be using some red yarn, and all these yarns are DK light worsted weight yarns. That's a yarn weight of 3, and as well as your chosen colour for your car, you're going to need some grey, which you should already have on your materials list, some white, and you're also going to need a tiny little bit of the pink, but you can also use red if you want to, for the tail lights at the back of the car. And these are all DK light worsted weight yarns, yarn weight of 3, so you're going to be needing those. And we're going to be using a 3.5mm E crochet hook. You're also going to need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. You're definitely going to need a yarn needle for this tutorial because there's going to be a little bit of sewing for decoration though, not the actual car. And you're also going to need a little bit of toy stuffing as well, but you can use yarn scraps if you want to. All those little bits of leftover yarn scraps. I only have literally one here to show you, but you can use all of these little bits as well for stuffing your car if you want to, but I'm going to be using a little bit of toy stuffing. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take the yarn we are using for the colour of our car, and you can use any colour, and we're going to chain 6 to begin. I'm going to chain 6. Okay, so do a little slip knot and then chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chain 6. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 single crochet in our second stitch from hook. Now we don't count the loop on our hook. There's our first stitch, there's our second chain. But what we're going to do when we work into that chain is we are just going to go under 1 bit of yarn, and that's quite important because we want to work back into these chains a second time on the way back in the opposite direction, and that just going under 1 bit of yarn helps us to see these stitches again when we need to. So making sure just to go under 1 bit of yarn, we're going to do 2 single crochet, and this pattern's in US terminology because that's just the way I roll. 1 and 2. 2 single crochet. Okay, in that second stitch from hook. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 3 chains. So we're going to go into the next chain, again making sure just to go under 1 bit of yarn, do 1 single crochet in there, then 1 single crochet in the next chain, 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next chain, 3. So you want to do 1 single crochet in the next 3. Okay. And that should leave you with 1 chain at the end, and in that last chain we want to do 2 single crochet. So in that last chain I want to do 2 single crochet, 1 and another one in the same chain. Okay, so that's the end of our first row, and you should have a stitch count of 7 along there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to work back into these chains in the opposite direction. And if you've just worked under one bit of yarn, you should be able to see your chains there quite clearly, which makes it a bit easier. So in this first chain, which is the last one you just worked into, where you did those 2, we're going to do 2 more single crochet. So go back into that same last chain again and do 2 more single crochet, 1 and another one. So effectively you end up with 4 full single crochet all in that last chain, but it becomes our first chain when working back along here. Then in the next chain, just want to pull up. You should be able to see the next chain along there. See? Going to put our hook in there and do 1 single crochet. I've done a video in more detail of working into your foundation chains if you want to go check that out. And then in the next chain, you just put it apart slightly, you should see your next chain. You hook in there and do 1 single crochet. So we're just matching this side. And then we want to do, I'm just working the tail end along as well. You don't have to do that, it's just habit for me. But there's our next chain. The next chain we do 1 single crochet as well. So you've done 1 single crochet in the next 3, just like you did on the other side. And that should leave you with 1 chain at the end. And in that last one you want to do 2 single crochet. 1 and go back in there and do another one, so you've got 2 in there. So you end up with 7 stitches along here as well. So in total you did 7 along here and 7 stitches along here. So in total you've got 14 stitches now. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work in the round. So we're not going to go back in rows, we're going to carry on. You may just want to make sure your stitches are pulled down so you can see that first single crochet, which is usually at the very top of your little sausage thing. And in that next stitch, that very first one right at the top, and make sure you go under 2 bits of yarn now into the stitch as normal, we're going to do 1 single crochet. Okay, just going to go straight into that next stitch and do 1 single crochet. Okay, then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet, a little increase on the corner, 2, so there's 1 and back into the same stitch for another 1, 2. So you've got 2 in there, and that lines up with your previous 2 single crochet. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 along the edge. So 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1, next stitch, 2, next stitch, 3, and next stitch, 4. So 1 single crochet in the next 4. Then we get to our next corner, so in the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2. So it's very similar to how I begin some of my soles on my shoe patterns. And then we're going to repeat those steps along the other side. So the one at the top, we're going to do 1 single crochet in that next stitch. Then we do 2 single crochet in the next stitch on the corner for our increase, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2, 2 in there. Then we do 1 single crochet in the next 4, so next stitch 1 single crochet, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, and next stitch 4, and then finishing up back where we started. You can see there's your previous increase. In that last stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet, okay, 1 and another one in the same stitch, and that should line up with your previous increase. Okay, and that's your last stitch. You may want to use a stitch marker if you want to, so you don't forget where you are. But by the end of that round, you should have a stitch count of 18 because you've gone up by 4 on each corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what we're going to do is we are going to do 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 4 rounds of just one single crochet in each stitch around. So basically you want to count to 18 4 times. 4 rounds of just one single crochet in each stitch around. So you go straight into the next stitch. We're not joining the rounds or chaining at the beginning or anything. We're just going to go straight into the next stitch and work one single crochet into each stitch around, keeping a stitch count of 18, and you want to do that for 4 rounds. Okay, 4 rounds. So I'm going to do that, and then I shall come back. So count to 18 4 times. 17 and last stitch 18. Okay, so I've done 4 rounds of just one single crochet in each stitch around, and you can see they all line up with my last increase there. So I've done 4 rounds, one single crochet in each stitch around. You still have a stitch count of 18, and it should look a little something like that. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the round 7. We're going to do one single crochet in the next 4. Okay, so one single crochet in the next 4. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, and next stitch 4. So one single crochet in the next 4, which should take you to the edge of the length side, and then in the next 4 stitches we're going to do 2 single crochet. So 2 single crochet in the next 4. So in the next stitch we do 2 single crochet, 1 and another one in the same stitch. Okay, then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and another one in the same stitch, then 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and another one in the same stitch. Okay, so you should have done 2 single crochet in the next 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, okay, in those next 4. Then we should have 10 stitches remaining back to the end, so you really might want to use a stitch marker, but you should have 10 stitches left. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the last 10. Okay, so next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Last stitch 10. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the last 10, and I can see I'm back to where I started because I can see it lines up with my last increase down there. There we go. Okay, so moving on to round 8, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 6 this time. Okay, so moving on to the next round, going straight into the next stitch, do 1 single crochet in the next 6. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, next stitch 6. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the next 6, and don't worry, there is a written version to go along with this if you want to check that out. Then we're going to do the 2 single crochet in the next 4 again, so same as what we did on the last round. So 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and another one in the same stitch, 2, okay, 2 in there, 2 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Okay, she's got 2 in there. 2 in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so you've done 2 single crochet in the next 4, and you can see it's increasing here. You can see it's starting to go upwards, but because we're not increasing on the bottom, that remains flat, so it gets our windscreen. Then you should have 12 stitches remaining, so we're going to do 1 single crochet back to the beginning. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the last 12. Next stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the last one, 12. Okay, you can see that lines up with your last increase, end of the round. So 1 single crochet in the last 12. It should look a little something like that, and your stitch count should have gone up to now. Sorry, I haven't said the stitch count. Should be up to 26 now. On round 7 it went up to 22 from 18, and now it should be at 26 stitches. Okay, then we're going to do 5 rounds, so rounds 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13 of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to go straight into the next stitch, and we're going to count up to 26 5 times. So you want 5 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around, not joining the rounds or chaining one, just literally working in the round. 1 single crochet in each stitch around, keeping a stitch count of 26, and do that for 5 rounds. Okay, 5 rounds. So I'm going to do that, and then I shall come back. 2, 3, and the last stitch, 26. Okay, so I've done 5 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and to keep count of how many rounds I did, I literally just threw down a little bit of toy stuffing each time I did a round. So if you wonder how I keep count, I know, I'm weird. Okay, so moving on to round 14, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in the next 7. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the next 7. You should still have a stitch count of 26. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5, next stitch 6, and next stitch 7. Okay, so you should have done 1 single crochet in the first 7 stitches. And this time what we're going to do, rather than do the increases, we're going to single crochet 2 together. We're going to do that 4 times. So to single crochet 2 stitches together, we're going to reduce 2 down to 1. And to do that, we're going to go into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, but then stop and go into the next stitch and pull the yarn through. So you've got 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3, and you can see that just goes down to 1 stitch then from those 2. We need to do that 4 times, so that's the first time. So we go into the next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then 1 more, next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all 3. So the third one and the last one, next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so we've single crocheted 2 together. We've done that 4 times. And then you should have 11 stitches remaining, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the last 11. Okay, so next stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, and the last one 11. So 1 single crochet in the last 11, and your stitch count should have gone down now to 22, gone back down to 22, and it should look a little like that, like a kind of, almost like a dragon's nose, a bit like, reminds me of my little dragon tutorial that I did, pattern rather than a tutorial. I don't know, let's put a picture over the top of this and you can have a look at my little dragon. That's a written pattern that you can go download for free off my website if you want it. Anyway, moving on. Okay, round 15, we're doing 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches this time. It's the first 5, so next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4, next stitch 5. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet 2 together 4 times again. So we're going to do the same as what we did on the last row. Okay, 4 times. So next stitch, pull through, stop. Next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, that's our first one. Next stitch, pull through, stop. Next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's our second one. Next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's our third one. Then one more. Next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So there we go. We single crocheted 2 together 4 times again. You can see it decreasing. And that should leave you with 9 stitches. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the last 9. Next stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and the last one 9. So 1 single crochet in the last 9 stitches. It should look like that, and your stitch count should have gone down to 18 again. Okay, back down to 18, and it should look like a bit of a crazy bubble car at the moment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do 2 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So you want to keep a stitch count of 18. So we go straight into the next stitch. I'm going to count up to 18 twice. So you just want 2 rounds of just 1 single crochet in each stitch around for 2 rounds. Okay, 2, 3, coming up to the end, 17, and the last one 18. Okay, so you should have done 1 single crochet in each stitch around, keeping a stitch count of 18, and you want to do that for 2 rounds. Okay, 2 rounds. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to stuff our little car. Actually, we're going to stuff our car. And what you want to do when you stuff your car, whether you're using yarn scraps or toy stuffing, is just shape your little car a little bit as you do it. Okay, so just get a nice shape for your car. So I'm going to stuff my car because it's quite hard to do on camera, and then I shall come back and show you what to do. So you want it fairly firm like this, and you can use the stuffing to help shape your car. Okay, So I shall do that and then I shall come back. Okay. Okay, so then when you've finished stuffing your car, we're going to move on to round 18 and we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch, just the one. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, just that 1 single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So into the next stitch, pull through, to the next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Okay, just 1 single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together. So it's the next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 4 across this edge. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3, next stitch 4. Okay, so 1 single crochet in the next 4. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together. Next stitch, pull through, stop, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, just 1 single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together. Next stitch, pull through, next stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then that leaves us with 3 stitches. So we do 1 single crochet in the last 3. So next stitch 1, next stitch 2, and the last stitch 3. Okay, so it should look like that. And we've reduced our stitch count back down to 14. And what we're going to do now is, if we carried on just decreasing, we'd end up with a sort of circular back. So what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to flatten. It gives it a really nice sort of 60s style to the back of the car. But we're going to flatten. This way it gets a little bit fiddly. We're going to flatten. You want to flatten it in the right shape. So there's your front of your car. Go over the top and then flatten. Okay. So you want it to match the front angle. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2. So as you can see, we need to get to the edge. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2, 1, and the next stitch 2, and then we're at the edge of where we've flattened the back of our car. Okay, and we should have 7 stitches either side, because we've got stitch count of 14. You should have 7 stitches either side. So what you want to do is, the first 2, we're actually going to crochet this closed now. So what we want to do is, when you're at the end, is see that next stitch there? I'm going to go into that next stitch and we're going to come out the next stitch. Okay, show you that again. So you've done 1 single crochet in the next 2. I'm going to go in to that next stitch and then out the next stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do a little slip stitch straight from the loop on your hook, and then you kind of need to turn your work, should still be flattened, and work back along this row now. Okay, so we're going to go into the next stitch, which is there, but this time we need to just find our next stitch on the back, which is here, and put our hook in there, and then do a slip stitch. Bring that through the back stitch, then through the front stitch, and do a slip stitch. We're going to continue that all the way across. So we've got 7. The first one was that one right on the end where we went in and then out the next one. Then that one there was our second one. Next one, third. Go to the stitch at the back as well. 3. Next stitch, then out the back. Bring it through both stitches and do a slip stitch. 4. Stitch 5, 6, through that back one as well, And the last one, they're kind of just together, so you're going to go in and then sort of straight back out again. Right, there you are. Doesn't really matter, just sew it close. Not sew it close, single crochet it close. And there we go. There is the back of our car crocheted close. And what we need to do now is just hide our tail end. So I'm going to bring that up and cut our yarn. Bring that through. And then we're going to get our yarn needle and we're going to hide this tail end on the inside. Thread that on. And then just to make sure that's over, I'm going to go just over there, just to get that stitch right over. And then, so we're going to see it properly now, like that, sort of very 60s, 50s style bubble cut. But we're going to sew in and then just out somewhere for a stitch, doesn't matter where. Don't want to pull too tightly on this end because you want to keep the shape, the back of your car. Then you want to go back in where you came out, here, come out the other side, doesn't matter where, just come out for a stitch. That disappears on the inside. And then, taking your needle off, we're just going to push our project down, hold your tail end, trim as close as you can, and then when you let go and your project bounces back, the tail end disappears on the inside and gets caught up on all that stuffing. So there we go, there is the basic car shape. All we need to do now is to give it a little bit of design. And you may just want to sort out your stuffing, get some stuffing into that end now. There we go. And all I've done for the design is I've literally sewn this on. So I'm going to get some grey yarn now, and you want to get a nice length of grey yarn. Let's do a bit of sewing, so get yourself a nice length and cut. I found that sewing a design on was much quicker and easier than crocheting like little white bits. And then all you want to do is just sew a design for the windscreen, an outline in the grey. So I'm going to sort of start around here and then just go over to the next stitch. And I'll just show you the first one. So leave a little bit of a tail for sewing in at the end. Then you want to go back a stitch over there, then over to the next stitch. What that does is creates a little line there. Then we go back and then forward a stitch. So back to there and then forward a stitch. And that creates a next little line like that. Then we go back to the next one. And it's a good idea when you're doing this to just step back and have a look and make sure you've got all the angles, the design working for your little windscreen. So then we go back one, and I'm just going to go over one more. And then just check that lines up, because I'm going to go back one, just about 5 little stitches over. Then I need to come up, and then over, and then down. So I'm just going to come up a stitch. Then I'm going to change my angle and I'm going to go down to here and up to diagonally to there. Sometimes you may need to have to go sort of over more than one stitch because your little stitches won't line up, but you usually do. Probably at the top, I usually do one little stitch at a time. Okay, so there we go, I'm starting to create a little bit of an angle, and then I'm going to be at the top, I think. Yeah, I think that'll do. And then I'm going to start going across the top. Back, then +1. feel like I have to get this right first time on camera. So you guys can take a little bit more time designing your little windscreens and windows. Then I think probably over one more. Oops. And then I'm going to go back down diagonally to about there. Back up to there, and then join back where I started. Like so, and then I'm just going to go back up to that last one, and then what I would then do is go on to my next window, which could say start over here, just to finish off that last line there. So there we go, there's a little windscreen design, and you would then move on to your next one. But to hide your tail ends, you just do exactly the same as what you did for the red. So just thread it on and go back in where you started, then just come out anywhere you like on the bottom for a stitch. That disappears in there. And then I'm going to come out, say, here, doesn't matter where. That disappears, it gets all caught up on the stuffing. And then you just make sure not to cut that one. Push your project down, hold that, trim as close as you can, and then that disappears on the inside. So just do that for the other windows, as many windows as you want to do. I chose to do one on, just do 4, one at the back and front, and one on each side. And so I'm going to do that for the rest of this car, and then I'll come back and show you what to do next. Okay. So there we go, so there's my outlines of my little windows. Unfortunately, I think that one went better than that one, but anyway, got a tiny little back windscreen. It really is like a little 50s car. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're technically just literally going to colour in our little windscreens, because I thought that'd be easier than just getting, you know, shaping bits of white crochet. So just take a good length of your white yarn, and we are going to colour them in. And to do that, the quickest way to colour them in is, rather than going across ways, you want to go up and down. So you can see here I've just gone up and down to colour in the little windscreen. So I'm going to start just at the top and then come down to the bottom. And you want to make sure to keep the yarn fairly close together so you don't get any little gaps. And you may not always be able to go through stitches, you may have to go through half a stitch, like through the middle of a stitch, like there. Okay, so let's show you this one. Okay, well, let's just fold just to the side of the grey to keep your outline clear, and then we're just going to go to the side of that and then come down just slightly along. And I'm going to do this all the way across. That tail end out of the way. All the way across. I'm going to do it for all my windows, which I know is a lot, but it's a bit easier in the long run, it's quicker. Okay, so I'm going to do that. You can always neaten up and go back over if you get any gaps. So I'm going to do that and then I shall come back. Okay, so I've finished that for all the windows, just going up and down all the way. It's a little bit tougher at the back, doing it over those decreases, but there we go. And I always forget to do this because I fasten off and hid my white tail end, but you don't actually have to do that straight away, because we're going to make some like little headlights using the white. So before you fasten off your white, which I have, annoyingly, just thread it. Can't speak today. Just thread it to the front on this corner, but I'm going to have to rejoin with a fresh bit of white because I forgot to do that. And we're going to create some little headlights, and to do that I'm just literally just over this corner, make sure you get the right end of the car, just go backwards and forwards 3 times, so 1, just sewing over that corner, 2, then third one we're just going to hide our tail end, so bring it over here somewhere. There we go, so we've got 3 little loops of white yarn just to create a little headlight. And then, oh, let's do the next one, the other side, then just come to the other side, disappears on there and catches. Could have just gone straight to the side. I forgot about the other. What is wrong with me today? I'm just forgetting everything. Just go straight to the other side, and then do 3 little loops this side as well. So 1, 2, then back over, then go somewhere else on the body. That's where we want to hide our tail ends. We get 3 little loops that side as well. And then go back in where you came out, come over the other side somewhere, disappear in there, and then trim down, let that disappear on the inside. So there we go, and I was going to hide this tail end, and I'm going to do exactly the same but with a pink bit of yarn for some tail lights, but you can use red yarn if you want to. I'm just saying to use pink because pink is in our list of materials, and of course I've used a red car anyway, so I want the lights to stand out, so I'm going to do some little pink backlights, exactly the same as what we did at the front here. Okay, so I'll do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've just repeated that for some little pink tail lights at the back, just 3 little loops of sewn on yarn, and hidden all my tails on the inside the same way we've done all the others. So all that's missing now is some wheels. So for our wheels we're going to get our grey DK light worsted weight yarn, and using the same hook size we are just simply going to chain 4. Let's do our little slip knot, and then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, chain 4, then find your first chain, put your hook into that first chain, bring it through that first chain and then straight through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch, and then we've got our little loop, 4 chain loop, so where our little 4 chains are joined at the beginning and the end, and in the middle is our little hole. Don't confuse it with your chain 1 hole. Find that centre hole, put your hook into that centre of your loop, bring the yarn through, and we're going to do a single crochet. A single crochet. We're going to do 6 of these, just wrapping it around our 4 chain loop. So go back into the middle of your 4 chain loop, bring the yarn through, then wrap it around the chain to do another single crochet. We need 6 of these, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, the last one 6, and then we just find our first single crochet, the first one we did. I don't know how well you can see this in grey. First single crochet and do a slip stitch straight through the single crochet and straight for the loop on your hook. Just pull your tail end a little bit to bring in that hole. If you've gone through the centre properly, then it should close. Otherwise, if it doesn't close, it probably means you've gone for the chain 1 instead. So there we go, there's our tiny little wheel, and we're going to leave a little bit of yarn for sewing. We need to make 4 of these, obviously, unless you want to put one on the back as well, in which case you want 5, but 4 of these, and then I'm just going to trim down this centre one, the beginning tail end. Just going to trim down nice and close so that hides, and taking the last tail end, just going to sew back into that last single crochet just to neaten off the edge, and you can use buttons instead if you prefer, if you have some little grey buttons, but trying to keep this within the material list. We are going to place that on our car, and working out where you want your little wheels to go, I'm just going to sew in then straight out the other side, which is the easiest way. Okay, so we've got our little wheel there. And we're actually only going to sew the top 3 stitches. We're going to leave the bottom 3 unsewn because they're going to stick out. So you only want to sew the top 3. So what we're going to do is holding that in place, going to go back in where we came out this side and come out one of those stitches at the top. That should disappear on the inside, and then I'm just going to go over slightly to another stitch that side and come out on the other side of the car like that, and just check you're happy with the placement. Move it over slightly, then go back in where you came out, back to that center, top center one, should disappear, and then just go over to the other side through that stitch, then out the other side. Okay. You may just want to go back over to secure it in place a little bit more. I might just do that. Just go back, just back over again. Should disappear. Oops, running out of yarn. Then stop to the centre again. Back over this side. Oh, it's come off. My yarn's getting small. Okay, put the needle in. When that happens, when the yarn gets a bit small, I put the needle in first, then thread it on. There we go. And what I'm going to do is put the needle in again and just come up here, thread that on. Okay, so I've just threaded that on off camera because it's easier. Then I'm just going to pull that through one more time. Then I'm just going to trim down the excess, and that should be fairly secure. Like so, and there we go, there is our first little wheel, and we just need to repeat that 3 more times for the rest of our car. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and show you the finished car. Okay, so I've finished that for all the other wheels and sewn those on, and there is our little finished car, and he can go with our little yellow car and can go with our little corner road piece we made earlier, and of course the straight road pieces we have made in some previous videos. And there we go. Yay. So there we go, it's got the daughter's seal of approval. So there we go, I will see you next week for our next episode, and I wonder what that will bring. So I hope you enjoyed our tutorials. If you haven't done any of these other tutorials, all the links are in the description below, and you should find links at the end of the video for all the other tutorials for the crochet along so far. So I will see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!